So yeah, the Miami Heat have a 2-1 lead in the best of 7 series, but I'm told if you start counting quarters instead of counting games, oh my God, we're in big trouble. Oh, it is. It is a Monday episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am Alex Donno, going to be bringing in a very special guest here, our pal Ricky J. Mark. I know Ricky, he had a good weekend. He's a Heat fan. I'm a Heat fan. I had a good weekend. I'm also a Florida Panthers fan, so it wasn't a great weekend, but it was a good weekend. And Ricky, have you seen this and heard this now? The latest coping mechanism from the Boston Celtics. Now, don't anyone think I'm taking a victory lap. I know the series is not over. Like I'm not saying 2-1, we got this. I'm not taking a victory lap, but I'm just saying when the Heat have a 2-1 lead in the series, and I'm hearing Celtics fans all over social today counting the quarters that they have won over these 3 games, ignoring the fact that they're down 2. Well, we've won 8 quarters out of 12, 2 times, 1 8 quarter. Like, bro, I mean, come on. That is some soft stuff, Ricky. How we doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic, and I can't help but risk doing what JJ Redick did not too long ago and risk antagonizing the Heat fan base, because if we were down 2-1, what would we be saying?
Oh, they'd be counting quarters, you think?
We would absolutely would be. We'd be calling the Celtics cowards. We'd be like, man, if this were, they don't know. The same thing we say after every Heat loss, aside from trade everybody, right? So, yeah. So aside from that, I mean, hey, it is kind of sad. It's unfortunate that the narrative is that Boston's lost these games, even though Miami's the number 1 seed and has competed pretty well. I mean, they didn't have Jimmy for the second half, and the Celtics still couldn't capitalize. I mean, they got close, but had Max Strus not made that 3, I think we probably would have been talking a little bit differently today.
Okay, so something we do have coming into tonight's game. We found out earlier today, Tyler Herro is not going to play in Game 4 in Boston because of a groin injury. How do you think, Ricky, this changes the dynamic for tonight? And, how much worse about the Heat's chances do you feel without Herro on the court?
I think this means we get more Victor Oladipo and more Caleb
that could
Martin,
be a good thing.
Because, quite frankly, Tyler Herro has not been performing up to what we thought he should have been performing to throughout this entire playoff series. We talked about it at length. For those of you that haven't seen our most recent basement episode post-game with Royal A. Shepard and all those other guys, we went in depth as to what's been going on with Tyler Herro. And I'll tell you this much. I mean, he had DeLon Wright, who was guarding him in the first round, still couldn't muster up anything. He had parts of Matisse Thybulle and Danny Green guarding him. Pretty good defenders, but it's like still couldn't give us anything. And now here we are, 4 games into the Eastern Conference Finals. And while it's unfortunate that he's not playing tonight, well, was he playing before?
Right. Yeah. Now, something, how do you expect Boston to come out tonight, Game 4, 8:30 p.m.? Because the thing that absolutely shocked me about Game 3, and okay, if you told me, hey, the Heat are going to end up pulling it out and winning Game 3, with no other details, I would have said, okay, maybe I can see a scenario where that happens. I thought Boston would win Game 3, but I could have seen a scenario where the Heat would win. But if you told me Boston would come out so flat, first quarter on their home floor in this series, the Heat just hit them upside the head, 39-18 in the first quarter. And my God, did we see a difference in Bam Adebayo? And I think part of that was internal. Part of that was external, because having Kyle Lowry and just Bam having plays run through him, just getting better service, I think affected him. But then I also think Adebayo, and he even credited Udonis Haslem after the game, Haslem for really being on him about being more aggressive. So I definitely think some of that came from within, but I think also some of that came just from the way his teammates and Spoelstra ran things. But man, I did not expect Boston to get pumped like that in the first quarter. So Ricky, how do you think they come out from the start tonight?
Do you remember that one episode of Game of Thrones where that green flame just blew up that whole part of the city where all those weird cultist people were? And I think it was Cersei that blew it up by igniting
Yes,
that
the
green flame.
wildfire.
Yeah, like basically the Boston Celtics are going to come out with that green flame like on top there. They're going to come out with fire in their minds and in their hearts. They're going to come out like a bat out of hell. Like they're all going to look like Marcus Smart thinks he should look at this point with all that green stuff in his hair. Look, they're going to play hard tonight. They're not. I don't see them. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see them going down 3-1.
I don't either.
They're gonna play very hard, and we're gonna see a back and forth, not unlike what we've seen in the Celtics Bucks series. I think they're going to win tonight. They're going to dominate the loose balls, even with all these dramatic injuries that I think at least 3 players have come back from within minutes that we saw over the weekend. Nice Paul Pierce like theatrics, by the way, Boston.
My God. They laid it on so like honestly.
Oh man,
Ricky, I felt like I was watching, and I haven't watched it like in years. But when I used to watch the WWE, like back in the day, and like all of a sudden, like, oh my God, it's Stone Cold's music, and like he's running through like the hall. They got it on camera. He's running through the hallways. He's running in the arena, like
or like
Stone
when
Cold Steve Austin.
Or when John Cena revives at the very end of the match and gets that 1-2-3 after getting pummeled the entire match. It's like, wow, okay, Super Cena. There you go again. Shout out to Sean Stanley. But yeah, like, look, at this point, like, yeah, it's gonna be. Look, I heard something during a Basement Spaces just yesterday, and I think it was Adam Barai and a few other people. Adam Barai, Kendall Smith, and I want to say Threat, and I think Jonathan Ramlakan were on that Spaces yesterday. And I think Adam pretty much echoed something I've been trying to get Heat fans to really embrace. We need to treat this Celtics team with respect. This is the Eastern Conference Finals. We're not winning this series in 5. And if we do, it's probably because something happened. Something crazy happened, like an injury or suspension or something like that. And it's not because Miami is a bad team. It's because at this point in the season, they're good too. They're really good too. They didn't sleepwalk to the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat the defending champions, the same defending champions that swept you last year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be a little bit more respectful.
Well, and on that note, let me ask you something, because I see this being said, and obviously I can be a little bit or very biased towards the Heat. I know a lot of people who watch the 5 Reasons Sports Network can be very biased towards the Miami Heat. So
my God, yes.
I've heard a lot of the national pundits say something the last couple of days, even after the Heat took the 2-1 series lead. And I'm wondering if you agree, right? That they're saying that, you know what, like the Boston Celtics are clearly the better team, but so far they've been outworked, and like the Heat have won 2 out of 3, mostly based on effort. Like I also think that they're underselling a little bit the fact that the Heat have the 6th man of the year. They've got a guy like Victor Oladipo who's really he's stepped it up in the last few weeks or during the playoffs, coming off the bench, and they do have some really good players in their starting lineup as well. So, do you think Boston, are they clearly the better team, as the pundits say, or are they not giving the Heat quite enough credit?
If Boston were the better team, they would be up 2-1 or 3-0 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that were the case, like we're not going to truly find honest. You know what? Let me backtrack a little bit. We won't know who the better team will be until next week. The reason I say this is because, generally speaking, barring any unforeseen circumstances, the better team usually wins the series. The better team usually gets the 4 wins before the other team. Right now, the Heat are up 2-1. Flashback 7 years to the 2015 NBA Finals. The Cavs were up 2-1. Were they the better team than the Warriors? No.
Nope.
They didn't have Kyrie. They didn't have Kevin Love, but they were up 2-1 thanks to that home win. Thanks to that win in Cleveland. They ended up losing the next 3 games. Now, am I saying Miami's going to do that? No. And personally, I hope not, because that would mean that this ring won't be coming back to Miami. It's for 2013. Holla at your boy. But no, look, at this point, look, I think right now it's a little early. We have been the better team for the last 3 games. I'll say that because we've won the games. We've scored more points than the other team. The other guys came back, but they didn't take the lead in the fourth quarter, and Max Strus hit timely shots. The better team, great teams, close the deal. Granted, even greater teams don't play with their food and let teams back into games, but you got to close, and that's what Miami did on I think it was Saturday night. On Saturday night. So yeah, like right now, Miami's the better team through the first 3 games. I'm not concerned about who won the most quarters, because if you have more points at the end of the fourth, that's what ultimately matters. Nobody cares if you won.
Maybe we should score. We should score it like they score boxing or MMA, where you just play 7 games, and whoever wins the most quarters, you get the judge's decision. You get to go to the NBA Finals.
How about this? Let's take this one step further, Donno. Let's play 7 games, and the team that wins 4, aka a majority of the 7, will qualify for the NBA Finals. Huh?
Oh my gosh!
Not the worst idea in the world.
You're spitting facts. All right, I know you got to run in a couple minutes, so I want to ask you about Peyton Pritchard on Jimmy Butler. So and by the way, you talked about closing out that game. I really didn't think they were going to be able to close that out with Jimmy. When we found out early third quarter, Jimmy was not going to return knee inflammation. And then we saw the way Boston was running. I'm like, we're going to blow this. And kudos to everybody on the court. Max Strus hit big threes. Thank you so much for closing out that freaking game. But as far as Peyton Pritchard, the way he grabbed Jimmy's leg, I've watched it 100 times. And I've watched it so many times because, Ricky, I get annoyed by how many biased Celtics folks are like defending that as if he was trying to block a shot or something. It was not a big deal. It was a basketball play, lobster, whatever they say up in Boston. Like, bro, I mean, it was dirty, Ricky. It was a dirty play.
Okay. All right, Boston fans. Look, keep that same energy as back when Dwayne Wade broke Rajon Rondo's elbow. It threw him down to the ground and made it bend the other way. I think that was in game 4 or game 3 or game 4 of the 2011 Eastern Conference semifinals. Y'all had all kinds of energy for Wade when he did that. It was dirty. It was dirty play. I'm going to tell you that right now. It was dirty play.
It was, and I agree.
But you're sitting here saying that Peyton Pritchard didn't do anything? That's just being hypocritical.
It is terrible.
Look, I'm going to call a water bottle a water bottle. I don't care if it's Miami or Boston. I don't care if it's Samuel Adams or our sponsor, Biscayne Bay Brewery. Look, it is what it is. Like, I didn't see the play, so I can't tell you definitively whether or not it was the case. But if that was the case, if he clearly reaches for Jimmy's knee in a similar fashion to when,
hold on, if you because you got a couple more minutes, right? I know you said you had to leave at 45. Let me see real quick because it's 43. So let me see real quick because I retweeted a video of Spoelstra talking, but they cut to that play.
I saw the quote. Yeah. Look, in response to Spoelstra, they should have reported that almost immediately. I don't want to hear it's too late to go to the league. It's been a couple days now. Spol is what used to be a video coordinator. All right, so I don't know. That's kind of sus. I mean, I don't like dirty plays.
I can pull this up real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. I don't like dirty plays regardless. But
hold on. Let me make the screen. But you'll see this. You'll just take a couple seconds.
It was not a basketball play. We're not really sure why it was.
Yeah. No, that was dirty. That was dirty.
Very. Thank you. Very dirty.
That was a legal play, or that was a safe.
He knew what he was doing. That's slick. Like, I hate it when players try to act like they didn't do something. And it's like, fam, you realize we got like 20 cameras trained on you, plus the ones that fans are showing, like fans are taking. Like, that was dirty play. There's no room for it in the game. The guy, Jimmy's already had knee issues. He's probably going to have surgery in the offseason at some point with as many times as he's heard it. Yeah. That was a dirty play. It's shameful. I hate that happened.
Hey, real quick, so people see where to follow you at Ricky J. Mark. Let them know because you're going to be on post game tonight. When's the next time they can see you?
I should be back in time for pregame. I hope to join the guys in the basement after the game, but of course we've got a loaded roster. If you don't see me there, don't despair. There'll be a bunch of great guys, more than willing and more than capable to take the mantle and just run with it. So there's that. You can follow me on Twitter at Ricky J. Mark, RickyJMark.com. You know where to find me. As usual, Donno, it was great sitting with you.
Keep working hard, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I will do my best. Thank you, Donno.
Awesome stuff there. I love that dude. Ricky J. Mark. I love this dude as well. Alfredo Arteaga, 3 yards per carry. Awesome contributor to our Dolphins coverage. But you know what? We can talk heat with this man. I love, and he's got the culture hat on. Alfredo Arteaga is with us. So Alfredo, I know you responded to the same tweet. I retweeted. A lot of people saw it, and this is going around. This is going around the Bostonians. And again, I want to reiterate what I said when Ricky was on. I'm not taking a victory lap. I know the series is far from over, but I have to laugh when I see Boston Celtics fans counting the quarters that they've won instead of the games that they've lost. It is the gift that keeps on giving.
Is anybody counting the minutes? What about the seconds? What about the hours? What about the commercial breaks? From commercial break to commercial break, who's winning those segments? Is what's key, right? Our own, Chris Kaufman did the numbers on the series. He'd have led for 55% of the series.
Oh, that seems important. Oh, okay. Right. I didn't know that. Okay.
And they've trailed for 47%, and they've been tied for 2.3%, right? So I had a Celtic fan saying, then the quarters stat means more because we've been tied for half the season, half the series. And I'm like, wait. 55% is not 50%, okay? And in a series, 55% tends to mean a lot, right? Like if you're a team with a .550 win percentage, and you're a team with a .470 win percentage, you know what the difference is in the NBA? About 16 games.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so if the Heat have led for 55%, then they've done a pretty good job of playing well in the series to have a 2-1 lead. But, of course, Scott Foster's right into the rescue, so...
I said we should score it like boxing. Like you play 7 games. Whoever wins the most quarters, they get the judge's decision.
Yeah, screw the final score and the scoreboard. Like you could have a 10-8 quarter. Like the Heat in game 3, game 1, they had a 10-8 quarter, they lost the next 3 10-9, right? So that means they lose the decision.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? It's hilarious. And would it be hilarious if it was just Celtic fans doing this nonsense? But it's the national media that's like egging them on and letting them know, hey, it's all right to act like complete clowns just because you're losing the series.
Yeah, and
but you know what makes it worse? Now we can't lose this series to these people.
I know. Oh, if we lose the series to these people, like this stuff is building. I'm just going to have to take a week off of Twitter. I'm only going to use the Locked On Canes account and just talk Hurricanes. Just take my main Twitter account. It's got to take a week off, right? I mean, it's not going to be a good thing. Now, I don't feel good about tonight. I still feel good about the Heat in the series. And my pick before the series started was Heat in 7. And I thought they're going to split the first 2 in Miami, split the second 2 in Boston, which is, I think, the way it's going to play out. And then the Heat will win the best of 3, win game 7 at home. So it doesn't change my series pick, what happened on Saturday night. It just means, hey, we won game 3. We'll probably lose game 4. Boston, they got slapped in the first quarter, Alf, which was so surprising to me. I mean, the Heat did a lot right, okay? I want to give the Heat credit. Adebayo, aggressive, monstrous. Kyle Lowry, just the metronome of that offense, and he was able to get Bam involved, and they were able to close it out even without Jimmy. But yeah, I'm not expecting Boston to lose another first quarter by 21 points. Like, they've got to come out better tonight, right?
Yeah, I would expect so. And, they have everything going for them tonight. They should be the more desperate team. But I always hate this, and it always happens, even with the best teams. You lose home court, and then you go and you grab one on the road to get home court back, and you relax, and then you just get shellacked in game 4, right? I hope that the Heat are not one of those teams. I hope the Heat tonight put up a good enough effort to make them sweat for 4 quarters. Because you only get so many of these, man. If you have an opportunity to go up 3-1, put your best foot forward. But I think the biggest difference in game 3 was Kyle Lowry. And yes. I understand Bam played great. But, and you got a huge contribution from P.J. Tucker. But I don't worry about P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker will show up no matter what. week in, week out, day out, game in, game out. But Kyle Lowry, I thought in game 2, the story wasn't the Celtics hot shooting, although that was a pretty big story, 23s and 9 for 11 to start the game. But I thought it was the Heat's completely abysmal defense to start that game. They were allowing so much space and so many wide open threes that they kind of deserved to get smoked by giving up 9 of 11 threes. When you notice when Kyle Lowry's on that court, everybody's on a string. He organizes the defense. And if he doesn't give you any shooting, that's fine. But he's going to give you a big steal. That game was in doubt until he got that big steal.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. 19 steals in the game. 19-2. Oh, it was amazing.
The Max Strus three-pointer, that was huge. But you know what was even bigger? The Max Strus layup after Kyle Lowry noticed that they were going to lackadaisically inbound the ball down 6. And he said, you know what? This is a pretty good opportunity to go up 8. And I'm just going to steal this, get it to Max Strus, layup, went to the line, made it a 9-point game, and made it pretty much, that was the dagger. Like that was, but that was, that's Kyle Lowry thinking the game. So, and I still hold out hope that 25-point game is coming from Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. How much do you think they missed Tyler Herro tonight? And for anyone just tuning in, Tyler Herro ruled out for game 4, groin injury. Now, I asked Ricky about it, and he's very optimistic, because Lowry's not been, not Lowry, Tyler has not been playing great in this series to begin with. I think that's very fair to say. And so you get more Oladipo, Caleb Martin minutes tonight. So how much do you think Herro's going to be missed this evening?
I don't think he should be missed that much in the series because he hasn't been all that great.
Yeah.
And, he's giving you some smart play on the defensive end, but he's also giving you some horrific plays on the defensive end as well. So he's been a mixed bag defensively, and he's been a non-factor offensively, right? What I do love is that Spoelstra has gone right to the playbook I laid out for him, all right? And I like to take credit for this. I said use Duncan Robinson as a scratch-off ticket every single game. Roll him out there for 5 minutes, and if he hits a couple of threes, then he gets 5 more minutes, and then, as soon as he misses 2 shots, just yank him and then put him on mothballs until the next game. That's what he did last game. I think that's perfect for tonight. I think tonight, the only guys guaranteed, a run is Gabe Vincent and Victor Oladipo. Obviously, Victor Oladipo is going to have to play more minutes because he's going to have to take some of Tyler Herro's load. But roll Duncan Robinson out there. Roll him out there for 5 minutes in the first half. Let's see what we have. Maybe tonight's the night. Maybe, and we know he's capable because out of nowhere he could drop 8 threes tonight, and nobody would know any better, right? So let's roll out our scratch off ticket, and it's not the worst thing in the world that you get the scratch off ticket, you scratch it, and it says you won $2.
That's usually how it goes for me. I don't think, and I'm not a huge scratch off guy. So if there's anybody watching this who's like, I buy scratch offs every day and I've won $1,000, I literally only do scratch off tickets one day a year because I've got a crazy aunt who gives us scratch off tickets as part of our Christmas gift. So every December 25th, I do, she buys me 10 scratch offs. I don't think I've ever had more than $10 won on a single scratch off ticket. And that's on the high end. Usually I'll do 10 tickets and I've got $6 total. So I have never had more than a $10 win.
What I usually do is if I have any money left over, I'll usually get a scratch off ticket, which makes me think if I add up all the scratch off tickets I've bought, in the last 20 years, it's easily $3 or $4 million, right?
Whoa.
So
yeah.
I should have just never bought a single scratch off ticket. Just thought, just made believe that I did, and then just look at my bank account today, and I would have had, hundreds of thousands of dollars maybe.
I know no one wants to hear it right now based on the market, but if you'd bought Bitcoin and Ethereum with that same change, in the long run, you'd be a lot better off.
Absolutely. But yeah, I hit a couple of scratch off tickets 1,000 years ago. And ever since then, I always think I'm going to hit another one. But yeah, it's absolutely awful. Those scratch off tickets, every time I have, $3 or $4 burning a hole in my pocket, I buy one, just to It's kind of exciting when you see you
guess
scratch
so.
off one and it says, "Oh, if you get another one of these, you're gonna get 10 grand." You know.
Yeah,
And
listen,
sure enough,
yeah.
you don't get any more of those.
Yeah, and like my big thing is, and like obviously, like people who know me, they know that like I like gambling. Like I do a lot of sports bets. I don't go crazy with the amount of money I'm betting, but I bet a lot of games. I like to play blackjack. I love to go to casinos and stuff. But I'm big on something that requires some element of skill or intelligence, right? Versus like a scratch. Like I'll do scratch offs it's kind of exciting, but I don't buy a lot of scratch offs because I have no control over the process. So when I'm playing blackjack, I don't have control over the cards I get, but I have control over whether I'm hitting, staying, doubling, and all that. Obviously, sports betting, I at least, and I know everyone calls me the mush, but at least like there's some element of intelligence and skill that goes into it. So that's the stuff that I love.
Absolutely, and this series has kind of been kind of the form, right? If you think about it, Heat win game one big. They don't get what is considered a very favorable referee crew for game two.
Oh, that was awful.
And had you just faded the Heat in game two, you would have hit that. Game three was kind of the anomaly, but whoa, if this doesn't scream tonight, I think tonight is one of those rare situations in the sports betting year where if you're a huge Heat fan, go put a bet on the Celtics tonight. And when you hit, you get to count your money. And if you don't, it's the best
spread,
consolation prize you can get, right? I think the Celtics are
7.
What?
-7.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
That's the only thing that makes me hesitate.
That makes it rough, right?
It does. It does.
And they were like -3, man. Send that thing in.
Yeah.
And if it goes bad, it means it went pretty good, right? You know?
Yeah.
So it's one of those rare instances. When you win, and when you win, and when you lose, you still win.
So somebody asked me, by the way, I don't know if you do, Alf, but somebody asked me if I play any video games. I don't like once in a blue moon if I ever play somebody online. Like I play FIFA sometimes, but I'll usually just play against the computer. I have played online before, but not often. I used to play a little bit of Overwatch, but I sucked at it. I've never played Fortnite. I've never played, at least not well. I've never played Call of Duty. So yeah, you're not gonna like. Don't ask me for my PSN tag or anything. I'm not. I don't do enough of that. What about you, Alf?
I used to play Madden competitively, and and pretty damn good. And for whatever reason, man, like it was like I could almost trace it right back to when it started happening. It's like 4 years ago. I started playing against some younger kids that I'm like I don't get this. Like I don't think I'm getting any worse. I think maybe my reflexes are slowing down because I'm getting older. Maybe I'm a washed Madden player is what's happening. You know what I mean? But about 4 years ago, I was no longer. I used to be one of those people like, man, you want to play against me? Put $20 up. Because I don't play for free. Like you don't get my game unless you can put up $20 to play against me. Not anymore. These kids have gotten way too good, especially in the Madden realm. I don't know if they're cheating or not. Although you can suspect that some of them are using some. Yeah, they're probably cheating. But competitively, like actual face to face, I played against some kids in the last 3 years, and it's a different atmosphere out there. So yeah, I'm like a washed Madden player right now.
Well, listen, Alfredo Arteaga is with us. He hosts 3 Yards Per Carry. He, Simon, and Chris do an awesome job. Best Dolphins podcast you need in your life. I know we're not talking a whole lot of Dolphins today, but Alf, let people know when you guys have you already dropped your episode for this week, and what are you getting into?
Yeah, we're gonna drop another episode this week on Wednesday, and then we're gonna take our annual month-long hiatus, but 3YPC will not take a month-long hiatus, as Kai Chen Sism and Juan Cardona will be in our place for the entire month.
That's cool.
And they'll have special guests also. So it should be a lot of fun.
I love both of those guys, especially Juan. Juan takes way too much shit out there for being a fan of Justin Herbert. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You don't have to hate on Juan so much, people. Alfredo, I can't thank you enough for taking the time, my friend. Keep wearing that culture hat, loud and proud. I got to find one of those. Can I find one of those pretty easily, or is there like a special spot?
Yeah, Heat Store. Heat Store has
Heat
them.
Store? Okay.
Yeah, the Heat Store has them. I think they're about $600 or $700 though.
What?
Yeah, have you been to the Heat Store?
Oh yeah, I've never bought anything there. Like if the only times I've walked into the one in the arena or in Bayside is just to browse. The one in Dolphin Mall, if that's still open. But I am way too frugal to actually buy anything in the Heat
Yeah,
stores.
you walk
So,
in, you expect. I saw the Heat, I saw this culture hat, and I was like, oh, that should be a nice little, $25 hat. And you turn it over and it says $38. But you
yeah,
just
it's too
have to
much.
have the culture hat. You know what I'm saying?
You do have to. Yeah.
So,
All right.
so I just had to spring for the $38, but it's worth it. Culture.
Man. Well, thank you so much for the excellent stuff as always, man. I'm gonna find a knockoff somewhere. Like I'm gonna do one of those things where like I make my own hat where I'm just like put the word culture on it. And they're gonna ship it to me from China. I'm gonna have one of those. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, awesome stuff as always there by Alfredo Artiaga. Hey guys, with everything going on, you want to make sure you are taking advantage of the official daily fantasy sports provider on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, and that is Prize Picks. Guys, sign up at prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app. When you make your first deposit, use our code 5. Hold on, I'll flash the code on the screen so you know. Here it is. Prize Picks code FIVE. Slam our code 5 FIVE, and they're going to match your first deposit 100% up to $100. On Prize Picks, it's you versus the numbers. I love it because it combines my love for parlays and for daily fantasy. You simply select 2, 3, or 4 players, predict if they're going to go over or under their fantasy projections, and you can win big money, guys. You can win 10 times your money back for getting 4 predictions correct, double your money for getting 2 predictions correct. It's addicting. It's fun. So many folks who listen to us and listen and watch our network have won money doing this. Prizepicks.com. By the way, you don't even have to select players all from the same game or even the same sport. You can go cross sport with these selections. Prizepicks.com or the PrizePicks mobile app. Download it. It's really easy to use, and it's free, the mobile app. When you make your deposit, code FIVE. PrizePicks truly is daily fantasy simplified. I'm going to throw full shout outs in the chat in a moment. By the way, if there's any confusion on why we started early to accommodate my guy, Ricky J. Mark. And I would do that every day if it meant, because Ricky's such a great dude. He's one of our favorite guests. So I had originally scheduled this broadcast to start at 3. And then I found out Ricky can't do 3, but he could do 2:30. So we're starting at 2:30, motherfuckers. That's how we did it. We started earlier. Alfredo hopped on at 2:45. So if you did come in late and you missed any part of this episode, the whole replay is going to be right there on YouTube as soon as we wrap up the live. And guys, I want to remind you of another way you can make money tonight and all throughout the playoffs. And Brooklyn Rob, I promise you. And I'm gonna put out I'm gonna send out a screenshot of the betting slip. I will, for the mush factor, I will bet the Boston Celtics tonight, and I'm gonna bet them -7. Or do you think it'll only work if I bet them on the money line? Because I just don't think I'm gonna get a whole lot of value on the money line. But you know what? If you think I've got to go money line because they they could win by 5 and not cover. So if you think I have to go the money line, I will do it tonight, and I will do it at America's favorite sports book, BetUS.com. You can bet on the game tonight. You can bet on all the basketball playoff games, the conference finals. You can bet on all the hockey games. Oh, my poor Panthers. My poor Panthers. International soccer, UFC fights, boxing. It's all at your fingertips at BetUS.com. BetUS is the 3-decade leader. Find out why they're America's favorite sports book. This is a full-service online sports book, fully available in Florida. For those wondering, you can use it in Florida. So sign up today at BetUS.com. And when you make your first deposit, use our code. You see it on the screen there, 5RSN125. Write it down if you think you're going to forget it. 5RSN125. When you use our code, they're not just going to match your deposit. They're going to go above and beyond. They will give you a 125% sign-up bonus. If you deposit $100 today, they're going to give you $125 on top of that in free play money. How good is that? You can bet sports, money lines, parlays, spreads, props, live betting on all of it. You can play in their online casino. I play real blackjack in there for real money. You can bet horses, pop culture props, and more at betus.com with our code 5RSN125. That's 5RSN125. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. All right, so I'm going to lock in the money line tonight then, because he's right, because the mush may not work. If I do the spread -7, Celtics could win by anywhere between 1 and 6 points, and it didn't work. They didn't cover, but the Heat didn't win. So I got to do the money line tonight. Oh my gosh, Scott Foster's the head official. Oh, Boston's tying up the series tonight, I'm afraid. Hello to Indade. Hello to Logic. Thank you so much. And yeah, listen, he's a fellow Interista. Yeah, we did get I'm a little bit depressed, right? Because our crosstown rivals, AC Milan, they won the Scudetto. Inter came in second place, unfortunately. But he said, hey, we have the double. They won the Coppa Italia. Inter did. They won the Supercoppa Italiana. They just missed out on the Scudetto. But we got to get that next year. And I mean, I hope he can stay healthy all year, because it looks like Paulo Dybala is on his way to Inter. It looks that way. So I just hope he can stay healthy next year. So Logic, thank you for tuning in. Brooklyn Rob, thank you for tuning in. David, who's always in here. Most of you guys in the live chat are chronics, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you supporting us every single day. And that reminds me, because I don't think I said this at the top of the episode like I should, because I got a little sidetrack with Ricky here. Smash the like button and subscribe. If you're watching us right now, whether you're watching us live at 3:06 p.m., May the 23rd, year of our Lord 2022, or you watch us later on via replay, smash the thumbs up button, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube if you have not already. We really appreciate that from you guys. Jay South, I appreciate you. Miss Fins, thank you so much. And Miss Fins, I'm sorry we didn't talk a lot of Fins with Alfredo Arteaga, but pressing news of the day. We'll talk more Fins later on this week. Pressing news of the day was Heat basketball, game 4 tonight, and Alfredo is all over it the same way he's all over the Dolphins. Adrian Ramos says, I just got on here. What's the prediction for tonight? I think Boston's going to win comfortably tonight. I hope I'm wrong. I think they're going to come out with the energy that they lacked in game 3. I know people can say, Tyler Herro not being available tonight, he's out with a groin, that, he's not had a good series anyway, so he's not going to be a big miss. I think it is still a loss, because there's always the potential that he can have, a vintage Tyler Herro type of game, and he's not even an option tonight. Jimmy's a little bit banged up, but he's expecting to play, left the game with the knee bruise last time, didn't return. I would be surprised. I have so much respect for the Celtics. I still think the Heat win in 7. But I would be surprised if the Heat win tonight. So I think Boston is going to win probably by more than the 7 points they're favored by, if I'm being honest. But I do think Boston's going to win tonight. Canes 1989. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Tony 2 times, another Interista in here, another Inter supporter, Inter Milan. Milan are campioni d'Italia, and the Panthers forgot how to play hockey. Yesterday sucked. It did suck. It really did. That's why, I'm still a little bit down. I'm still under the weather too. And it's not COVID, because I tested negative for COVID last week, but I've had something. I don't know if it's a flu or just too stressed about my sports teams. I have been under the weather for like a week and a half, man. I'm just trying to get 100% better. I'm not quite there yet. We will get there. But if my sports teams don't do their part, I'm not going to get any better. Kevin, thank you so much. HM, thank you so much. Miami shuts the media up tonight. God, I hope so. I hope so. I think Boston probably wins tonight, and then the media is like, see, that's how Boston in 6. Don't even worry about it. That's how the rest of the series is going to go. I'm bracing myself for that tomorrow on these shows. Vanavar, thank you, says if Smart plays, it's going to be down to the wire and close, and Scott Foster will leave his imprint on the game. Man, Canes 19. FIFA is hard to score on unless you get the hang of the game. Yeah, it can be tough, and it seems like every year they make the game worse, right? Like I don't know. It's like, oh, we've updated FIFA this year. It's like, how come it was better like 6 years ago than it is now? I don't know what the hell they're doing. They outsmart themselves. Let's see who else we got in here. Who else we got? IMAX. Hello, IMAX. Thank you so much for tuning in. He's another chronic. I see him in here all the time. Fast Force G. He's got that confidence. Heat and 5, he says. Is that I'm trying to look at his Avi there. Is that Dark Side of the Moon part of that? I do love that album. TGC TV. Tyler hasn't had the Monster game. Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I think that's why like people are not overly stressed about Herro not playing tonight. It's like, what has he done anyway? Let's see. Ian from Brooklyn, my guy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Marco, Mr. T's Culture. Let's go Heat. Let's go Heat. Remember, we may be up in the series, but we're down in the quarters one. So we're in big trouble here. Gus, thank you so much for tuning in. Will Smart and or Rob Williams play? Oh, that's tough, man. I'm going to say both play, assuming they haven't been ruled out since I started the episode 40 minutes ago. I'm going to guess that they probably both play. Zulu Black, hello. Thank you so much. My guy VLKV, thanks so much. The healthiest team will likely win. Maybe that whole attrition thing, right? Doug E. Fresh, hello. Got here too late. Yeah, we started the episode earlier than we thought we were going to, but you got the shout out in. That's good. This Jit Nick, let's go Heat. We ride or die tonight. I love it. Kevin, thank you so much for he faked the injury. Yeah, he faked the injury just so he could have the dramatic pro wrestling style run through the tunnel. Oh my God, that's Stone Cold's music. Yeah, both are questionable. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I wanted to make sure they were still questionable and that nobody had been ruled out, because you guys know, or you should know, what a terrible multitasker I am. Like I try to put everything into doing a good show, which means I'm not fidgeting too much. I'm not pausing too much. Like I keep the content rolling. And so part of that is when I start doing the show, I'm not like on my computer with a Twitter thing open, getting constant updates on stuff. So that's why I always tell you guys, if I'm in the middle of the show, and usually you guys are really good about this, if I'm in the middle of the show and some kind of big news breaks, put it in the live chat, because I'm a lot more likely to see the live chat than I am to happen to go on to Twitter or ESPN.com or something during a show. Because when the camera's on, I'm just talking to you guys. I'm looking at the screen. I'm talking to our guests. So yeah, you guys let me know. I'm not saying it happened today because I don't think it did. But if you ever see like big time news breaking, let me know on the live chat, because you guys will probably see it before I do. Miss Finns asks, what does the Heat have to do to get any credit for a win? They probably have to win a championship, right? Like, if they win a title, they end up getting through Boston and then Golden State, because obviously, Golden State, they're just gonna have a little nice brisk walk into the finals. They're already up 3-0 on Dallas. There's no question about how that series is gonna end. Like I don't know what they could do unless half of Golden State's team got injured in the finals and the Heat just win. Like I don't know what else they could take away, because like, okay, a couple of years ago the Heat made it to the finals. Jimmy Butler was incredible against the Lakers. They lost the series, and then it's like, oh, they only got that far because of a bubble. It's just like, okay, how is the bubble? Everyone was in the same bubble, right? Like why do you think it's an advantage to this team and a disadvantage to all the others? So there's no bubble this year. So I don't know. I think the Heat have to win a championship. I think they have to win a championship to get any credit for these wins. Ronnie, hello. Hey, Alex M, hello. All right, guys. So we will wrap it up on this note. Huge shout out and thank you to everybody who tuned in. If you haven't already, on your way out, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. For those of you in here, if you happen to be a Miami Hurricanes football fan, you can also check out the work that I do every single day on the Locked On Canes podcast. We put out an episode every single day, usually late morning to early afternoon. So we have a YouTube channel for that as well, at Locked On Canes, and a podcast channel. Make sure you support me there and support everybody here, because when it comes to 5 Reasons Sports, I am a very small cog in the wheel, right? Ethan Skolnick, the entire Heat crew, the Dolphins crew. Oh, and Alex M says, when is the next 5 rounds. We're going to be doing lots of content. We're going to be resuming it. I think this Sunday or this Wednesday. I got to so we're going to be we're going to be combining our coverage with Jonathan Ramlakan, who also does MMA coverage, because we figured, instead of doing so much separate content like Ramlakan, me, Frank, James unfortunately had to step away for some family stuff. So we've been on hiatus for a couple of weeks. We're going to be bringing it back. We're going to call it something different because we're like rebranding it, but we're going to be doing Combat Sports Talk again, probably later this week. Me, Frank Zaffrey, and Jonathan Ramlakan under the Combat Center banner. And we're going to have all the episodes on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. So we are bringing that back soon. And thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, Alex M, for the donation. Thank you, Devin, for the donation. He says, Alex, if we get that BAM from last game, the Heat will win tonight, plain and simple. Yeah, I mean, if Adebayo can dominate in game 4 the way he did in game 3, and Jimmy Butler plays for 4 quarters, I like our chances. Truth win. Hello. Championship vibes. Heat Nation. All right, guys, everyone, like Kane's 1989 said it best, everyone take care and be safe. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Look for us at 2 p.m. tomorrow right here on another episode of Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. See ya.